People waste a lot of money on car cleaning products, and today I'm going to explain what's worth the money and what's safer off in the bin. As you can see, I've quite a lot of products that I've gathered over the years. Some which I keep buying because they're brilliant, and others I wish I didn't buy them in the first place. First up is your power washer. Is it essential? No, it's technically not. I've seen many people wash their car with the garden hose and it does the job. But if you're very serious about your car cleaning, I would recommend you get a good power washer. Yes, there is a massive difference between a cheap and expensive power washer, but you can end up spending a lot of money on a power washer. Next up is your snow foam and your pre-wash. To be honest, I sort of try and combine these two. I sort of mix a couple of different products together to make a snow foam and pre-wash. It's just the way I like to do things. I've tried out a few different products over the years, and to be honest, this here is sort of the best results I get. So there is some rubbish pre-washes out there online, and there is some good ones. If you keep on top of your car cleaning, I wouldn't say there's a guaranteed need for a pre-wash, so put this in the maybe pile. I then like to move on to the wheels, and for that comes a few different products. If you've been following along the channel for a long time, you'll know the saga of the wheel brushes. Good wheel brush is very good and very important to have. Then obviously with a wheel brush, you need a wheel cleaner. It's a wee bit like the pre-wash situation. It depends how heavily coated your wheels are. You know, there is some very good wheel cleaners out there. And then there's people who use acid on wheels, and to be honest, anything that's got a diamond cut wheel or anything like that, I don't like using any acid on. Unless there's something that comes in really neglected, I'll use the acid then. But apart from that, no. Standard wheel cleaner does the job. Then we move on to the body of the car. To be honest, people out there who have specialised buckets with grit catchers and all that, I use the 2-bucket method. I think those buckets were 80p each out of B&Q at one point. Both, like, it's a bucket, it does the job. And then I have 2 types of shampoo I use. I have the Clean True shampoo, which is your standard shampoo. So if I'm washing something that will then go and get buffed or polished or stuff like that there, I don't think there's any point in using a specialist shampoo, because at the end of the day, the specialist shampoo is a bit dearer. You're wasting it because you're going to put polished stuff on it. Give them something just a quick wash or a top-up wash. The Ultra Mousse by AutoSmart, it's a great product as well. And to be honest, it adds sort of gloss enhancers. I know every company's got their own version of this. If you're just giving it a quick clean, certainly add that there, helps the paint. But if you're going on to do a few more things, standard shampoo is perfect for your job. So after the car's washed, I usually use an iron fallout. Blade by Clean is by far the favourite I've ever used. It is first class. It's great on wheels, body panels, stuff like that there. As I've said before, he makes it a very obvious colour so you're not overspraying. It's a really good product, especially on white cars and alloy wheels. It is well worth the money. As well as that, tar and glue remover. This one especially, I notice a big difference between a cheap and expensive tar and glue remover. I pay a wee bit more, but I know I'm getting good product. There's so many cheap ones you see online and they're rubbish. To be honest, WD-40 is a better tar and glue remover than some of the cheap ones. So keep that in mind if you see a lot of tar spots in your car. Then after that, you get into your machine polishing. If you're very serious about your car detailing and car cleaning, certainly I recommend learning how to machine polish, different pads, compounds, stuff like that there. That is probably where I have spent the most money, because as soon as you get into this, you're talking not just £5–10. It gets quite expensive. If you just like the car cleaned, you know, I would even recommend going out to a detailer or something like that there and asking them, would the machine polish your car? Because at the end of the day, once it's been done, you know, it doesn't need done every time you wash the car. So to save you buying all the equipment and stuff like that there, and it is very time consuming, sometimes this can be a wee bit handier just sent off for someone to do. Then I move on to polishing the car, and I use Auto Glim Radiant Wax. I've used a few different polishes over the year, and to be honest, this is probably one of the best I've used. Very easy on, very easy off. It really gives a great shine to the car and gives it a wee bit of protection whenever it's done as well. Then to finish up the outside, I usually put a tyre dressing and trim restorer on. I use the same product for tyres and trim. I don't really think there's a need to have 2 separate products. So if you find one that's good, just use it for both of them. So moving on to the inside of the car, as you can see, I have 2 hoovers in front of me. One is just a standard hoover and the other one is a wet and dry vac. If you have leather seats in your car, stuff like that there, you don't need the wet and dry vac. I only sort of use it for sucking cloth seats and sometimes carpets as well, but it's not essential. This hoover here, just a standard hoover, it was bought out of Lidl. As long as it has good suction, it is a good hoover. You do not need to buy any specialist hoover or anything like that there. As well, whenever I'm hoovering up as well, I'm not wheeling it over because it's massive, is an air compressor as well. Not essential, and it is definitely a considered purchase, but it really, really speeds me up whenever I'm cleaning the insides of cars, especially if you have a load of just grime and dirt and sand all stuck in the carpet. It's something that takes up quite a bit of room. It's quite noisy. It's not the cheapest product to buy, so it's not essential, but I think if you do a lot of cleaning or a lot of cleaning on dirty cars, it's definitely worth the money. When it comes to interior cleaning, I actually use two products. There's nothing really special. One's an all-purpose cleaner and the other one's an interior cleaner. Probably one of the cheaper ones out there as well. When it comes to interior cleaner, I think a lot of the work is what you do yourself, whether it be the scrubbing, the brushing, the rubbing. You know, you're working the product into it. I have a selection of different brushes and cloths for the interior cleaning. As long as it's a standard interior cleaner, I don't think you're going to go far wrong. Things I don't think that are worth the money for like your leather cleaners or your specialist material cleaners. I think they're a waste of time, to be honest with you. I've never had any bother using leather, cloth, Alcantara with the products I used, so I don't know why I would need to go out there and buy a specialist product for it. Final thing I'd like to mention are these magic sponges. They are cheap, cheerful, but brilliant for cleaning up car interiors. Whether it be for plastic trims, leather trims, these are brilliant and lift dirt so quickly. And to be honest, I think a pack of them is a couple of £1. If you have dirty interior trim, make sure you get the magic sponges. Finally, I'm not going to the beach. I'm talking about drying towels. These here, I thought were a bit of a gimmick, to be honest, at the start, until I got my own made up, the TM Autos one. They're 1200 GSM, and you see this compared to standard drying towel makes a world of difference. It is crazy the amount of water this will hold, and it is impressive how quick it will dry a car. You're not constantly rubbing over the same spot, trying to dry it out. More water left on the painting in the towel. These here, definitely worth the money. It's not a plug, it's just facts. Coming to a close, so many products out there I think are nonsense, cheap equivalents, or just duplicates of other products. Make sure you read reviews or even watch videos of people testing products out. You could very easily fall down the rabbit hole of going, this is going to transform my car washing, this is going to do this is going to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of the times that isn't true. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an overview. Unfortunately, car cleaning, car detailing will be a very, very expensive thing. You can do it on the cheap, or you can end up spending thousands on the perfect setup. I've tested a lot of things over the years, and this is just my personal preference. If I missed any products or you have a different opinion on some of the products, let me know in the comments. And for any other car detailing or car selling stuff, follow along.